go plug your meter?
Yeah.
I finally plugged it.
You can suggest it.
What?
We never vote, it's in committee meeting.
Oh, we're not looking at this, we're not voting, we're only eliminating possibilities.
I don't know
This is-
how that is any different than voting.
Because
You
of
are
the way-
eliminating two candidates from this.
And then tomorrow, we will recommend, whatever we come out of here with today, we'll recommend to the board tomorrow, and the board gets a chance to decide whether or not that's the category.
But already, two have been eliminated.
But we just asked our attorney to weigh in on that.
I just said, we are voting.
Would you weigh in on whether or not we can select a person out of this group, out of this committee of the whole?
Well,
A recommendation.
the resolution of the board from last week.
It's not binding.
It did say that, didn't it? It said, make a recommendation. By the candidates, in order.
It indicated that the subcommittee was supposed to make a recommendation.
Yes. Subcommittee is to make a recommendation. Ah, got it, thank you.
Concerning select, this way of selecting.
No.
That's the way I read it. Way of selecting. Concerning the selection, how are we gonna go about it, an interim administrator. That was the charge that we gave last Tuesday. And I think anything we vote on today is, we just turn around and have to vote
No,
on
keep,
again.
we get the poll.
I
Got
know, but all four people should be in
You gotta
the pool
explain
tomorrow
this to
too.
me, because it's clear at first and then there.
You will vote for
That's
your
all we got.
highest, she's talking about something completely different. You vote for number one, whoever's your highest priority, vote for number one, vote two, vote three, vote four. We will ask you, what's your number one?
Vote for number one.
Vote for your highest.
A, B, C, or D.
Yeah, A, B, C, or D.
Letter, of course, no, no.
And I'm going to ask you who your top candidate is, and you are going to say, my top candidate is number A, B, C, or D. That's the way it's going to
Wait a
work.
minute.
You ready?
You have to vote for,
All four. And you can only vote, and they have to be in priority order. Commissioner Nelson, you understand this process. What is your number one candidate?
Oh, I wrote it on D.
Okay, your number two candidate?
B.
Your number three candidate?
That's fine. This year?
And of course, D is number,
B.
A is what?
A is for.
okay. We got that? Check it. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Commissioner Crone, your number one candidate.
Number one candidate is B as in boy. Next one is A. D. And C.
Okay.
Mine is, D is number one. Number A is number two. Number B is number three. And C is number four.
Okay. Commissioner O'Neill,
I have a process question.
do it.
You have to vote for all four?
Yes.
Yes.
If you don't, the process doesn't
Bullet
work.
voting doesn't work.
That's who I allow.
A is number two. B is number one. C is letter three. D is four.
Commissioner Sweeney?
A1, D2, C3, D4.
Commissioner Rocker?
Number one is D. Two is C. Number three is B. Number four is A.
Okay, and I I would be last. There are 6 sets of numbers up there. A is number 1. B is number 3. C is number 4. D is number 2. Okay. Let's give us a moment to work our way through this. I think I got 17 on top. I could be wrong. Okay. I can't do that, can I? So I guess I can't get the chair. We're trying to keep you all in the dark.
Yeah.
One more time. Sorry about that. Okay. So we have clearly identified, as this process is intended to do, identified something. The numbers are candidate A has 19 votes. Candidate B has 20 votes. Candidate D has 19 votes. But clearly, candidate C has 12 votes. It would be my opinion, based on this process, that candidate C be eliminated. Is there any objection? Seeing none, eliminate them and change and erase the numbers.
Are you adding up every 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus?
I did, the top right one gets 4 points, the second one gets 3 points, the
The
third
lower
one
number,
gets
the
2
higher the
points.
value.
Okay, thanks.
So it's the opposite, 4 is a 1 and 2 points.
Yep, that's how we get it.
Yep.
Okay, eliminate candidate C. Now, there is an opportunity for debate at this particular point. There are several people who chose number 1 for each of the candidates who are there. You are allowed at this particular moment, and we will allow no greater than 15 minutes to debate why you think that particular candidate that was yours should be selected. Is there anyone who wants to make an argument for any of the candidates? Commissioner Sweeney.
Well, I just think it's really, really difficult to start talking about and debating, because some of the things that he would talk about are clearly identified as just who these people are. And therefore, I'm not comfortable doing that,
Okay.
because supposedly, until they are finalists, if their names are supposed to be confidential. And so how do you do that and preserve the confidentiality?
Very carefully.
Well,
Commissioner Crumming up.
No, yeah, that kind of makes it hard to say anything other than what I've said consistently, is I think that we should pick someone who has been the interim administrator, and therefore that's my argument at this point.
Okay.
With that, without divulging.
Okay. Commissioner Rocker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I can say without really divulging the identity of the person, my priority is having a person with the most experience, with familiarity with St. Louis County, with its policies, with the managers, our management policies, with our budget. that's really where I see, and the capacity to be able to hit the road running and step right up to the plate with full knowledge of what's going on in St. Louis County in retrospect with vision towards the future.
You're not words, so we know you. That was a letter.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can do
He does make a point, Commissioner Cohen did make a point, that if you're going to debate somebody, you probably should give us a letter of who you're debating for. Because if I were listening to Commissioner Rocker, I would have said, okay, all three of those are there, all three of the candidates are there. Commissioner O'Neill, then Commissioner Forsman.
Thank you. Well, I'm suggesting candidate B because candidate B, and I suppose we're the only ones who know that because we're the only ones who have read these, has suggested that he or she would not seek the administrative post permanently. And I do think that's an advantage. I mean, I think that's an advantage myself, but I think further, I think Martha's given us an indication very diplomatically that that is a good thing. So I think that speaks in favor of candidate B.
Commissioner Forsman.
Mr. Chair, other than one candidate of the four, three of the candidates did at least state in their letter that they were interested in the interim position and did not even talk about the long-term. So in other words, three of them, one candidate still there, has said that that person would be supportive of long-term. The one thing that I would want to say is that since this board knows who's interim and who's, who's internal and who's external, is that the advantage, I see an advantage to an external candidate. Although I have chosen an internal candidate as my number two, and I believe I've already done the thing for a number two, so let's see where that goes. I honestly believe that the biggest reason that I would think that an external candidate will bring more, a knowledgeable external